What's up, everyone? Welcome to Why Am I Nervous Since Alpha Beta Gold. I'm Cameron James. Joining me today is Jason Porter, and as always, Just Matt. We are the Microsoft man short this week because of some work issues, but
good. Let's talk shit. Microsoft is terrible. Fuck that shit. Green is dumb.
We got to be a little, conscious of what we said. Obviously, we don't need any more Microsoft emails getting sent to our email address, or
I just sent them to spam.
There you go. Yeah. It's a good way to look at it. So, last night, has anyone seen that that Hot Ones challenge? It's like the thing on YouTube.
Yeah.
So we did it last night, and you eat like the 10 wings. Man, either A, we did it completely wrong, or B, everyone that tries those wings is a bitch because they were not hot at all. Like the jump from like the one chip challenge blows that thing out of the water. Yeah. And Matt, you like hot foods.
Obviously. I do. Yeah. And it's funny. I love how the one chip challenge is coming back. Or I'm not even coming back. It's just becoming a thing now. But those Pocky chips have existed since like 4 or 5 years ago. Like they've been around for such a long time. But I mean, I like spicy things, but I like spicy to be flavorful and enjoyable, not just like, holy shit, this is so fucking hot, it hurts. Like, that's not the kind of spicy I want to enjoy. But I've seen people doing these Hot Ones challenges, and I mean, and of course, watching it on the YouTube channel. And I see the Scoville units, and yes, you gauge it. And obviously, it's going to be hot, but I look at most of these things like I could probably get through this. I mean, I would maybe get uncomfortable towards like the end when it starts to get a little bit hotter. Well, slight discomfort, not like holy shit, I'm going to die, but. Some of these people are like, they can't even get past like the third or fourth one. And it's like, dude, that's like really bad. The Pocky chip, though, I know that shit's fucking hot.
That one sucked. And I'll be honest, yesterday we did that Hot One challenge. Everyone that was in the room doing it was drinking stuff. I was the only one that didn't drink a single drink of anything until I finished all 10. And again, there was like no heat in my mouth. Like it was like like it felt like my tongue was like tingling a little bit, but it was not. Like that one chip challenge thing fucking sucks.
Yeah, there's a brand of I remember when I was working at my last job, we would do trade shows all the time, and there was like, for food service and shit like that. And there was this brand of beef jerky. It's called Righteous Felon. I highly recommend them. I'm not like a beef jerky person, but like their shit is delicious. They have a beef jerky that's like a Carolina Reaper, and it's hot, but it's really delicious. It's not like the Pocky chip that's just nightmarish hot. Like I could eat an entire pack of that Carolina Reaper jerky in like one go and not sweat it. But the Pocky chip thing, I am a little nervous about ever trying that.
I don't know what reaction was better. Either the Gordon Ramsay, the Hot Ones challenge, or Cameron finding out that his milkshake after the one chip challenge was frozen solid and he couldn't drink it to cool down.
The ultimate level of disappointment.
But it's weird, like that's like when they were tasting, and I know what's her face, Rachel Ray like ate each sauce on like a spoon, like that's badass. Like we put it on the chicken wing, and again, I was like, how do these people think? Like I was like sweating, like I literally like sweating in nerves. Like I showed up there with Munchkins, Dunkin' Donuts, 2 things of milk, fucking like everything under the sun, and I was like, this is really disappointing. So
it's very lackluster.
And the new pepper that they say is like the hottest, like this Apollo pepper, which isn't even apparently on the Scoville scale yet. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys want to try
it. maybe someday, but
all right, fair enough. I'll just get the sauce and I'll make it something at me mom's.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! I remember the one time I was like, "Hey, dude, can you make me like some eggs, but like really spice it up?" And I remember you brought the bowl out. And it was like just 2 eggs and some like a hash, but it was just like a fucking plate full of red chili peppers. I was like, Cameron, what the fuck are you doing? Are you trying to kill me? And it was like the sauce was like ground. It must have been some kind of like ground up peppers. It was like jet black. I was like, what the fuck did you do in the kitchen?
Put everything. Every hot thing I had in that kitchen, I dumped. I like pan-seared jalapenos.
Oh god, it was so that was really fucking hot. I ate most of it, but
no way, dude, you finished that thing. I think
painfully fucking hot.
Don't tell me to do that again, then, I guess.
No, never again. I'll be like, give me a little bit of spice, not like I'm gonna fuck your day up spice.
Fair enough. So, Jason, I saw you put a shout out in the chat yesterday. You were trying to get involved with No Man's Skies and Destiny last night.
Yeah, I was looking to the bug after Justin and I were talking about it a couple weeks back. The bug kind of hit me, and I'm off this week, so I'm just kind of wanted to get back into, before I started something new again. I just wanted to kind of dip back into something old, and I figured, why not? Did
you play?
Oh yeah.
Are you playing the new DLC for Destiny or no?
No, so I haven't played Destiny in probably over a year. No Man's Sky has been, I have a love-hate relationship with that game. I'll play the shit out of that game for like 5 or 6 weeks straight, a couple hours a day, and then just get like sidetracked, move on to something else, and let it sit for 7 or 8 months. It's been about 7 or 8 months, and I want to pick that up again. I'll probably pick that up again this afternoon. Destiny, though, it's been over a year since I played.
Oh, okay. So Matt, you've been obviously,
but at the time, when I put it down the last time, like I had one of each class, all of them were maxed. I don't think I never did. One of them wasn't maxed. Like I never did like the full story for, I think, my Warlock. But I mean, they were like, it wasn't something I dabbled in. Like I played the shit out of Destiny. I know what I'm doing in Destiny.
So are you getting the DLC then or no?
Probably. Depending on what I pick up. If I pick up Destiny now, then instead of No Man's Sky, if I get back into that, then yes, I'll be like 100% ready to go. If I do No Man's Sky first, depending on when I get back to Destiny, I probably still will. I just don't know like when it would be.
I know Justin said he was like 7 hours into that raid yesterday. I don't even think they finished it. So I don't know how long that is. And Matt, obviously you're the only one still with the PlayStation 5. Are you playing the Destiny DLC?
Yeah, I have been. I started playing it last week when it came out. I have definitely put in a good amount of time to it. I'm definitely not doing the raid yet. I don't know when I'll be doing that. It'll probably be a long while. I think at this point, I'm really just kind of excited for the upgrade to come. The upgrade it'll be 2 weeks from this Tuesday. It's December 8th. So I'm excited to see the upgrade, because in terms of just, general performance, it definitely looks better. It definitely plays better. Loadings times are significantly better, and I know that they're going to get even more better, even more better than.
That's twice so far today.
I love saying that phrase because it's terrible. But no, I think once it gets to the specific next gen upgrades, it's going to be even more enjoyable. But I'm having a good time with it. It's the same kind of thing, like you said, with No Man's Sky. I have a love-hate relationship with Destiny. I'm either really hot on it or I'm really not. And I'm sure I'll be, within like 2 months, I'll be kind of taking my time away from it. But new DLC's good. Story's interesting. Lots of good lore shit. And they already started the first season. Maybe Destiny started 2 weeks ago. It's the first season for this new DLC, the Season of the Hunt, started the other day, and it's actually got some pretty cool stuff going on. So having fun with it, but want the new specific upgrade to come out soon. But I think it comes out the same week as Cyberpunk, so might not be playing Destiny too much that week. I might be downloading it and then not touching it for a couple weeks.
And I guess the big question is, what's the update on the PlayStation 5?
Since last week, I've had a couple of weird issues. This past Monday, so I was off this past Monday and Tuesday, just fucking hanging out and kind of enjoying the system. Monday night, I had been playing for like a couple of hours, and I was like, I'm going to stop, I'm going to eat, I'm just going to go do a bunch of other normal things. And when I came back to turn on the PlayStation, hit the button, and it's starting to boot up thing where the light's flashing blue like it does on the PS4. And it just kept flashing blue. It never went to anything. It never showed the screen. Nothing was displaying. And I'm like, oh man. And my heart sank. I was like, oh, at least I got a couple, good amount of time out of it before something bad happened. And then I waited like 5 minutes and nothing changed. So then I did the thing, of course, that everybody says you shouldn't do, which is unplug it, because then it can cause it to get fucked up. But I unplugged it, plugged it back in, waited, and then turned it back on. It booted up in like hey, we're going to just check to make sure everything's okay. Did that, and everything was fine after that. And then the next morning I wake up, I go to try to play it. I press the button on the controller's not turning on. I'm like, oh, fuck, is the controller dead? So I guess the battery must have been really low the night before and I wasn't paying attention to it. So I just had to manually turn it on and everything. But as of this morning, I don't know if it's going to stay this way or if it's just going to get improved over time. I'm pretty sure it's just related to like the graphics card or just the internals in general. But I've noticed a little bit of coil whine. I don't know if you're familiar with that phrase, Cameron. I feel like Jason probably is familiar with coil whine. So I think the best way I can describe the kind of the similarity to the noise is if like when when your refrigerator at your house kicks on, it makes like a buzzing noise. Yeah. Sometimes it could be a little louder. It's like that, but it's coming out of the console. It's not super loud on mine, but I've noticed it's happening now when I'm playing Demon Souls or Valhalla. But I also was just trying to play, I just turned on Astro before and it was dead quiet. Playing Destiny, even though it's a PS4 game, it's dead quiet. But it most likely is just related to the graphics card because Demon Souls and Valhalla are much more graphically intensive or labor intensive to the console than Astro or Destiny would be right now. So I think that's where it's coming from. I've been reading about a lot of people getting pissed off about this and they're like, oh my God, this noise is ridiculous. I'm going to send it to Sony. They need to fix this, but it's not necessarily a warrantyable issue. And that's pretty recognizable. Like that's to be expected from devices like this, any kind of computer.
A little bit of coil whine is not the end of the world.
Exactly. Like this, like where I sit, like I'm looking at the PlayStation right now, I'm sitting 3.5, maybe 4 feet away from it. And it's dead quiet right now. If I turn on Assassin's Creed, I'll hear that noise, that buzzing, but it's nothing like that jet engine shit on the PS4. Absolutely not even remotely close to that. If that was happening and I was sitting 10 feet away, I probably wouldn't hear it. It would sound just like the fan was going from 10 feet away. But some people are complaining and they're like, no, I've already gotten in contact with Sony. They sent me a box and I'm sending it back to them. And they're like, they better fix this. But Sony could send it back and say, no, this is well within normal operating parameters. We didn't fix anything. Here's your console back. Like it's not a warrantyable issue. Now, of course, some people have been posting videos and there sounds like a jet engine, which that might just be something with the thermal paste or the fan, whatever. That needs to be fixed. But a little bit of coil whine is not a problem. Otherwise, this thing is still exponentially quieter than the PS4 ever was. So
I guess
update.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, I was saying, I guess the question here is, well, if you guys know more about this tech and so is Vitality than I ever will, I could tell you about action figures though if you want to hear about that.
I can tell you about that. Right there.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that. Or let's go. But so do you see them upgrading this graphic card then when they do in 6 months from now? Do you see them doing something different with the graphics card then? If you think that it's a graphics card issue, how do you fix that? I guess would be the question.
I mean, the simple answer is you don't necessarily fix it. It's something that's going to be expected. I mean, a lot of PC players have been commenting on these Reddit threads about people complaining about the coil whine, and they're just making the jokes of laughs in PC. Because if you have a really massive PC crazy rig, with these new fucking RTX cards or whatever, the NVIDIA cards that have the 3 fans built in them, it's going to make noise no matter what. It's just a matter of how loud it is. And that's not necessarily something that you can completely eliminate.
So I don't have a gaming cube, but my computer is not a gaming computer in any sense of the word. But it can handle, when I built it to last. So it can still hold its own with, 2.5, 3 years later with stuff coming out today.
Right.
If I'm really doing something graphically intensive on it, I will hear my GPU in there and I will hear my CPU fan, and it will sound loud. And granted, it's on the desk, 3 feet away from me, but still I can hear that more than I can hear the coil whine in some of these videos that I've seen. So it's not a huge deal.
And that's why for me, of course, where I sit 3 feet away, I can hear it all. I can hear the sound of the fan, which the sound of the fan, no matter what I've noticed, is the quietest fucking thing. Even after playing Valhalla or Demon Souls for 4 hours, the fan is still
except in that video we were linked to.
Well, that was that was bad. Even after like 4 hours, the fan is still like, it's consistent. Like I haven't heard it ramp up after 4 hours because there's more heat. Like it's always been pretty consistent. But I have to like, if I really want to hear the coil whine, like I have to get behind the console and listen. But between the sound of the coil whine, the fan going, and the vibration that it makes, it all combines to make one acoustic sound that I'm hearing. And with the way that the top of the console is, because it's got like the fins, the sound can come out of that. And then it's just how it's positioned. It's just because of my proximity to it. But if I was 10 or 15 feet away, I wouldn't hear shit, and it's fine. But some people are freaking the fuck out, like, oh my God, my PlayStation's going to blow up. I have to send this to Sony and wait 3 weeks for them to maybe fix it. And that's ridiculous, I think.
Yeah, I mean, other than the vape smoke and the Series X, like Microsoft's been pretty quiet. Like there really hasn't been.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen many issues with their.
I don't.
Console.
I don't think it's anything for them. If it would just be random things like people getting a console and it's dead out of the box, but shit like that happens. That's gonna happen. But I think I feel like it's just more vocal with PlayStation. I don't know. I feel like people because it's just like they're just so hard to find, and I guess maybe more people are talking about PlayStation, so that's why the news is getting out there. And people aren't going to talk. You're not going to see news about how enough, or you're always going to hear more about things that are bad than things that are good. Like people have already done their reviews and say, hey, you're going to say, hey, yeah, it's great. It's got great graphics. The games are fun. The controller's cool, all that shit. But you're always going to hear more about the fucking problems than you're going to hear about the things that are going well. So, I mean, if you just go and you search PS5 coil whine on Google, like 18 articles come up that are being updated like every fucking day by these people that are like, here's new updates, here's possible fixes. It's like, you can try to fix it, but I'm not cracking open my console to try to take a look and then fucking it up and then having to try to send it back to Sony and maybe I've voided my warranty. I'm not trying to do that. I'll fucking deal with it. And who knows, like you're saying, maybe, and because they go through model iterations during the lifespan of these things. It's not like in a year, there's going to be a brand new PS5 that's smaller and has all these different things. They might just say, actually, we'll use this graphics card now. It's got the same specs, but it's less likely to make this noise. Or, hey, we're going to switch to this fan that's more efficient, but it will still fit this profile of this thing. Like there are different iterations as it goes where they make smaller tweaks and stuff that will fix some of these smaller issues. But on the whole, I'm really enjoying my time with this thing. And I think once people are able to more readily get their hands on it, they're going to really like it. But then at the same time, more of this news is going to come out where people are going to be complaining about these small fucking details.
Yeah. And how's, I guess my last question about it is just simple sense of like how, I guess it's not even about the system. It's about Valhalla do you like it?
I fucking love it. It is honestly, I've been talking to one of my good friends. We're both on the same page. Our favorite Assassin's Creed game is Black Flag. This is like the closest possible second to Black Flag in terms of how much I'm enjoying it. Like I really fucking like this game. It is beautiful to look at. The character is really cool. I love the environment. Like I haven't even left Norway yet. Like it's still just a snowy region. Like I haven't even headed to England yet. But it's fucking beautiful. And that's why I can understand why like I might hear some coil whine coming out of my system or it vibrating a little more, buzzing, because it's very graphically intensive. And of course they still need to do some more patches because it's very buggy, but those are all quality of life improvements that'll come over time. But I fucking love Valhalla, and I think because I don't know if he listens when we do these, but Sean will fucking love this game. I know he's all about Vikings and this part of history. He's gonna fucking shit his britches when he plays this game. You'll love it.
Yeah, Black Flag and Origins are definitely my top Assassin's Creed games, and sure. I hated Odyssey. I did not like it at all. So I
didn't like it as much, but I like Greek mythology, and that's why I hoped I would like it more. But I didn't like it as much. Origins is like fucking really top tier shit. But.
Yeah. So would you say it's more like Origins or more like Black Flag?
See, that's tough because Black Flag really focused a lot on the sailing, and like you have like a long ship in this. I just don't know if there's any upgrade mechanics to it. I don't think there is, but I'm also really early on still.
There's not ship battle in it, is there?
I don't know. I haven't gotten to a point where
because I hate
can
ship
say,
battles in
yeah.
video games.
Well, this is it. These the long ship that you have. I don't know if it changes, but like it's like you have your ship, you have your long ship, and it's like there's maybe a crew of like 10 people to row the fucking boat, or when you deploy the sail, you deploy the sail. But there might be some kind of combat mechanic. I just don't know yet. So at this point where I am, I would compare this more to Origins than Black Flag.
Good to know. Maybe I'll try it out.
Like it's really like I'm telling it's fun. I can't say anything really bad about it right now. Like, yeah, there's bugs and stuff, but that shit'll get fixed. I really like Valhalla, and I'm glad they actually they delayed this and took their time a little bit more with it. They took I think it was supposed to come out sort of around the earlier part of the year, like April or something like that, and then they pushed it all the way back to now, and it definitely shows. Like, it's very pretty to look at. I like just fucking standing and looking at the northern lights in the middle of the night and just looking up in the sky. It's fucking beautiful. So thumbs up, top marks.
Well done, Ubisoft.
Yeah, they did. It's good. Great.
Well, I guess this leads then, first into our first topic is Valhalla is something that I want to play. Cyberpunk is something that I want to play, but they are games I will not play on a PlayStation 4. And the issue is obviously Microsoft and Sony continue to have these shortages. You know, I had the whole PS4 thing or 5 in my cart for Walmart the other day. You know, Steph had hers in the cart. We had to check out. It's like crashed. Then we got to the point where it was processing. It's like crashed. You know, you have all these guys that are, I guess the word is scalpers, selling for a ridiculous price online. You know, obviously it's a holiday season. And I was talking to my friend Guy about this the other day, or even, no, it was Rich across the street. And I don't understand the mindset of how and why Microsoft and Sony didn't produce an abundance amount of these things, because they're losing money. Now, to counteract what I'm saying here, that shows maybe they don't give a fuck, is because Rich is like, well, they're losing money. No one's going to buy these consoles. I'm like, Rich, there's not a single first party game that would really say you need to buy the next gen console to play it. You know, Cyberpunk's still coming out for fucking PS4 and Xbox One. Valhalla, you can play it now on the PS4, the Xbox One. You know, if Microsoft had released Halo Infinite and it was an Xbox Series X exclusive, I think that's a different fucking ball game altogether. But because there's no demand for the system right now other than just wanting one, I guess I understand at the same time why they aren't making as much. But at the same time, I don't understand it because it's the fucking holidays.
Yeah.
Jason?
So I am of the firm belief that there are warehouses full of PS5s somewhere, and Sony's not a stupid company. They are very methodical in everything that they do. They are driving the demand right now. They drove the demand, for the last year and a half. They're continuing to drive the demand now. You're going to see them available for Black Friday. You're going to see them in a week from now. Retailers are going to have like one or two of them at the physical locations. You're going to be able to get them online. Granted, still limited quantities, but they are just kind of, this is basically the fact that we're talking about this and that other people are talking about it is free marketing. So they're not stupid. They're very methodical in how they're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the thing is
but Microsoft as well.
Right. But the issue is that a lot of these systems that are getting bought by these bot algorithms that you hear about. Yep. How true that is, I don't know. But at the same time, it's like you have a bot buying a system. Like, again, people on Let Go or Offer, what the hell it's called, eBay. They're like, oh, I got 20 systems in stock. It's like, what? You have 20 systems in stock. You're selling for $1,100. That scalper is making the money. Yes, Sony's making money off of the system, obviously, but what the fuck?
And apparently they're also getting robbed quite a bit.
Good.
They should be. I have seen that. I have seen some people get the system goes out and there's no money in the account or whatnot. But the fact that there is this high demand for these, especially around the holiday season, I just don't understand. I understand the concept we're talking about is free marketing for both Sony and Microsoft, but the fact that you're allowing people to sell your product for $7, $8, almost $1,000 at times more and making more off of the product than you are is weird to me.
I think that's actually part of the plan. And you see this with any major console. I think the original Wii and the Switch were the same way. Nobody gave a shit about the Wii 2, Wii U. They're probably counting on, these online going for, $7, $8, $9, $1,000, $1,100, I think you said. And then that way, when they come out like, hey, look, we have these in stock, it's $399, $499 respectively. I think that's all part of the marketing play. I might just have like this wild theory about everything, but in my mind, that scenario makes sense. There are consoles out there. There is a warehouse full of PS5s and Series X's out there right now.
So you're telling me we just got to go find it?
We just got to wait until Sony kind of releases them back into the market, which again, they will this week.
But again, it happens. Just so everybody knows, it happens on Walmart. I'm not afraid to fucking tell people. It happens on Walmart the 25th at 9 p.m. Good luck. But there is, again, I think for myself, like when I didn't get it, I wasn't bummed out. I wasn't sad. I wasn't like, whatever. I was just like, all right, whatever. Like, this is just not, do I really? And it's Steph's like, why do you need this so bad? Why do you want this so bad? I'm like, because it's new. It's like, what are you going to play on it that you can't play on the PlayStation 4 that you have now? I'm like, huh. I was like Astro and Sackboy's Big Adventure. And she's like, what the fuck is Sackboy's Big Adventure Astro? I'm like, all right, fine. Like, valid point. Like, and I was like, this makes logical sense. Like, and then you hear, like I said, even Matt with his little issues here or there with the, the quick brick, I'll call it, like quick not functioning. And then, the little fan thing that may not go away. It's like, do I really want to get one this soon? I mean, I got my Switch probably 4 months after, 3 months, 4 months after it was launched. And I have had not a single issue with my Switch. I don't have any fucking drift issues. I've never had any sort of like connection problems with the TVs or connecting the fucking Joy-Cons to it. Like, my Switch has been immaculate. And all I did was wait 3 months. So,
yeah, but that's just it. 3 months is a really short period of time for them to make a lot of hardware changes. So you probably just really lucked out then. But that's just is a fact of the matter. So I don't know if that necessarily lines up, but I see where your head is at. Like, just waiting longer to get your hands on one of these isn't gonna fuck your day up. It's only gonna benefit you. So,
And I have so much stuff to play. Like, I just beat Sleeping Dogs literally the other day. I just binged.
So happy for you. I'm so glad you like that game.
I thought it was great. I did think after the I'm gonna say the wedding scene, I was like, okay, I want to beeline this because I want to see what happens. So I did like none of the side stuff like at all. But I thought it was I thought it was a great game, and I have so many of those. I saw that vampire game on there. I've bought Hollow Knight. I think I have. I still want to play. So there's plenty of shit that I have to play, and it could take me forever to get done. So, but Jason, you were about to say something. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm the same way. I completely agree. I didn't get my PS4 until Destiny came out. I mean, how many months had it been out at that point? There's nothing I really want. PlayStation 5 has nothing to offer me right now. Yeah, I would love a console, but if it's just going to sit there, I'd much rather take that $500 and put it towards something else. Now, if it was released with, Ratchet and Clank or Gran Turismo, different story. But as it stands now, there's literally nothing I absolutely need to play. Dare I say, even want to play available for PS5 right now that I can't do on PS4. If I want to play Sackboy's Big Adventure, okay, I'll just play fucking Little Big Planet. I mean, I probably realistically, I won't even consider like really going after one of these until Gran Turismo 7 comes out.
Really? That's your selling point?
Or Ratchet. I fucking love Gran Turismo, dude. Yes.
I mean,
great games.
Don't get me wrong. If they had like if freaking GTA 6 was out on PlayStation 2, obviously that'd be a whole different story. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think, I wouldn't be surprised if we started to see a huge influx of these things out like the week of Christmas, if they just like put a boatload out, or, mid-January, early February. I think you'll be able to get your hands on one. And like I said, I would rather go into a store, buy it, and walk out than order it online. I don't know why.
Well, no, that's where I was too. Like, had I not been in the situation that I was in, I would much prefer to walk into a store and get it too. But I think I said it before, everything that's going on with this thing, I just need this to last long enough until they're more readily available. So that's kind of where my head is at.
And then you'll trade in for an upgrade.
Well, when I generally do that when they do make upgrades. Like if they say, hey, we're releasing and there's another iteration, because that's what happened with the Pro. You got a Pro, I got a Pro right when they came out. Fan noise loud as fuck. Around the time that Red Dead Redemption 2 was coming out, they released an iteration of the Pro that had a different brand of fan in there and it ran more efficiently. That's why, like, you say your PS4 sounds like a fucking jet engine. My Pro, after I got that new one, fucking quiet all the time. Like so if they make these iterations, that's something depending on how your system is running. Like, who knows, fucking a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, this coil line thing might not be an issue, but if it's something related to the fan and the fan all of a sudden gets really fucking loud, I might want to just hot swap them out if they've made some changes. But I won't really necessarily get an upgrade until the point maybe they do make some kind of PS5 Slim or PS5 Pro, but I don't know when or if that would even happen. They might just make subtle tweaks through this whole generation. There might never be a half step forward, but
only time can tell, right?
Yeah. And one other small point too, I think with what Jason was saying about how you think there's a warehouse somewhere, you're probably right. And I think too, part of the reason why there's these shortages is because they said that to meet the launch day for these consoles, they were air freighting them to various countries so that they'd be ready to go. Because normally what they do is they just put them on big fucking boats, and then it takes like a month and a half, 2 months. So you very well could be right. Like they air freighted those fuckers, and then they've still got some on ships that are going to be due into, fucking San Francisco and New York, like right into New York City into the fucking harbor. Then they got to clear customs. They got to get them off the boat, and then they got to start getting them on trucks. But there probably is a fucking giant like rig out there in the middle of the ocean that has hundreds of thousands of these fucking things on it, and they're just in transit. Like you can't do anything about that. Once it hits land and gets through customs, then you can start shipping them the fuck out real quick. But that's why, we got a month until Christmas. I think if there's a ship on the way, there will be definitely more coming in time.
Yeah. Only time can tell. But moving on to our next topic is Matt actually sent this over to me, was Sony's response to the Game Pass, which I actually thought was really valid after I read the article, and I have it here right in front of me. It comes from Push Square. I'll just read it real fast. It's really short. Speaking with Russian media outlet TASS, PlayStation's bigwig Jim Ryan was asked about Sony's response to Xbox's popular Game Pass subscription service. He replied intriguingly, "There's actually news to come, but just not today." The executive then went on to talk about PlayStation Now, which is the Japanese giant's cloud streaming platform. It's a curious statement because when asked a similar question earlier this year, Ryan explained that Game Pass-like subscriptions doesn't make sense for us. He told GameIndustry.biz, "We're not going to go down the road of putting new release titles into a subscription model. These games cost millions of dollars to make, well over $100 million to develop. We just don't see it as being sustainable." After I read this, I 100% agreed with him. I think that the Game Pass is smart in a sense of like trying to get the upper hand on somebody, but as a business person, and obviously Sony is a business, financially, the amount of money being lost by putting a first party game on Game Pass compared to releasing it, without Game Pass is huge numbers. And the fact that Sony's saying, hey, it's not something we're interested in, not necessarily. If they do go the route of Game Pass, what would you assume that they're going to do? Because obviously it doesn't sound like they're going to be putting first-party games on this Game Pass right away. Jason?
I completely agree. You own a small business. I deal with small, medium, and large businesses on a daily basis. From a financial standpoint, it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. As far as what games to put on, I don't know. I was never one for all of those streaming services. I really don't have much input for this. I've bought games before, I've downloaded them, but to stream a game, to me, that just doesn't have any, it just doesn't do it for me at all. I can't see myself ever doing something like that.
Getting the streaming service?
Getting the streaming service, yeah.
Even if it was to save you, looking at it as a non-business standpoint, looking at it as a consumer standpoint, even if it was going to save you as a consumer, hundreds of dollars a year.
If I bought enough new games anyway to warrant that savings, yes. I really don't. I'll buy physically one or two a year, and then I'm always downloading digital stuff. But I'm not going to play every single new game that comes out just to play it. Some of them I just have zero interest in. Mm-hmm. So I would have to look, depending on what it is. I mean, if I ran the numbers and it was okay, it's a $200 savings, yes. But if I ran the numbers and it was all right, it's $8, no.
Yeah, because I guess when you look at Game Pass, you have the big wigs from Microsoft would be Halo, Gears of War, and now this stuff from Bethesda. What are they going to give you? One game each a year? So that's $60, and the subscription service cost what, 20?
So I was just looking at the prices actually. So this is good that you mentioned it. If you're doing just the I guess the basic package of this shit, it looks like it's $10 a month, and if you're doing Ultimate, it's $15 a month. So it's at most it's about $180 a year for the Game Pass.
What does it say? What the difference is? I wonder if Ultimate is giving you Microsoft, Xbox, and PC.
No, that's all inclusive. If you're just doing the $10, it's PC and console. Let me just see what it says for Ultimate. So Ultimate includes access to over 100 high-quality games for console, PC, and Android mobile devices. New games added all the time. Xbox Game Studio titles the same day as release. Exclusive member discounts and deals. Free perks including in-game content and partner offers. And play games on your Android mobile phone or tablet from the cloud. Basically looks like the same shit either way.
Yeah.
But still, I'm with Jason 100%. If it was, I realize, I play probably out of the three of us, I feel like I probably play the most games. For sure.
Agree.
If it was,
hands down, agree.
If it came down to where it was yes, I could sign up for whatever the fuck this deal was that Sony puts out, and I could save a couple hundred or even $500 a year or something like that, then I would definitely do it, because why am I going to throw away $500 if I can save that $500? But if it only boiled down to where I was going to save the cost of one full price game, fuck it, I'll just keep buying the games then and just do it that way. But they just need to put it out there. We need to see what they say and then go from there. Because all now it's we're just speculating about what it could be, how much it could cost, whatever. But I want them to release some kind of, or maybe I said before, I don't think it's a good idea, but it wouldn't be such a bad thing, because with PlayStation Now, that kind of is a Game Pass service, but you can't, it's not perfect yet. So my hope is that they would, if they're going to do any kind of Game Pass thing, it'll be like this PlayStation Plus collection where they just say, here's a bunch of games, add them to your library, download them if you want, or don't. And that's it. But then they got to really come out with some heavy hitters. They got to say to fucking, and I know they won't do it just based on what Jim Ryan said, but then they would have to be like, hey, here's the Game Pass for PlayStation, and you're getting day one, you're getting God of War Ragnarok, you're getting fucking Ratchet and Clank, you're getting all these games. PlayStation people would lose their fucking minds over that, but it's not sustainable. You can't, if you put all of these blockbuster games on there, you're not going to make that money back.
I mean, yeah, I think the thing too that's an issue is that what Nintendo kind of, I think, benefits more than Microsoft and Sony is that Nintendo games, everyone believe it or not, the NES and the Super NES games still hold up to this day. So with that with that online service that you have when you get the Nintendo Online and you get the Super NES and the Nintendo games on there, those games hold up well. If Sony came out and said, "Hey, we're going to do something similar to Nintendo, we're going to do this PlayStation Now thing, but we're going to give you fucking PS1 games, PS2 games, PS3 games, PS4 games," most likely the PS1 game and the PS2 games, and now Jason, I know you said people that still play the PS2, aren't going to hold up. There's going to be major issues with how they control graphically, looking at it just to sell, especially a game so old that is, 3D, but being on a new TV that's fucking like 8K, whatever the fuck they're at now, it's not going to hold up well. So that type of idea might sound cool, but it's a fucking terrible idea, and it would not work.
And the example I'll use for that is Final Fantasy VII. You can the original Final Fantasy VII. You can play that on PS1. You can also download it in the PlayStation Store for PS4, which looks exactly like it did on PlayStation 1. It's just there's no graphical improvements, and it actually looks, the original version actually looks a little bit worse now on the bigger TV, the higher def TV. It just, the graphics weren't made, this was 24 years ago. I mean,
it's blown out.
My 50-inch flat screen, my 55-inch flat screen was not even a consideration back then, even a remote consideration. And going back to what Matt said a few minutes ago, I think the type of gamer that you are, like the type of person that you are, physical versus digital, would have a lot to do with the Sony version of the Game Pass as well. Matt, I know, loves the digital stuff. There are certain games, most of my games that I buy, like most of the smaller ones, I'll just download. But if there's like a game that I really want and I'm really looking forward to, I want that physical copy, just for, it looks nice on the shelf, or, it's going to have something like the box art on it or something is going to be great. Like Gran Turismo 7, I'm going to have the physical version of that game. Horizon Forbidden West, I'm going to have the physical version. Other like random stuff, no, I'll just download it. But if I'm buying a lot more physical games anyway, there's zero need for that streaming service.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it'll be interesting to see what they have to say about that and when they're going to say about that. Because he could just, like you said, just be saying it and they're not going to say anything about it and they're just going to throw it out the door. But, hopefully they come up with something good. Again, unless they're like, hey, we're going to give you every fucking PS4 game eligible for this thing for free. All you got to do is, pay $10 a month. That's maybe a different story if you're, if you have a serious, if you haven't really got to experience the PS4 games. But
I'm hoping too that this is kind of sort of related, but not really. I hope too, with the release of these two consoles, the disc-based edition and then the digital edition for the PS5, I hope that going forward, Sony puts out more PlayStation Store sales, because generally speaking, like if you're going to get a game on sale, it's going to be physical and it's going to be on sale through whatever supplier wants to sell it or whatever the fuck they want. I really hope they start stepping up their game on digital, like their own digital store sales, because I understand that the digital consoles haven't sold nearly as much as the disc-based ones, but they kind of need to step that up, because otherwise a lot of people are going to have to wait even longer to play games if they want to get them on a sale. I guess that's just a small detail. There's actually some decent deals going on right now, but these pre-Black Friday deals, but most of it's for PlayStation 4 stuff. But they just need to start doing digital sales more frequently, and maybe discount digital titles for PlayStation 5 games now and sooner than they would otherwise, instead of waiting like fucking a year and dropping it $10. Do that a little sooner.
Well, I guess we can only wait. We can only wait and see.
Yeah. Time will tell.
Moving on here, I want to talk about remakes and remasters real quick because I know obviously Demon Souls just got the big, I guess, remaster.
No, remaster
Remake?
is when you just make it look better. Remake is when you're.
So
I guess some companies say they remake a game and they don't really fucking remake it. Like this is straight up from dust to from the bottom up.
And that's what I was going to get at. Is this game
Yeah.
you've played? Obviously, I have no intention of getting my ass beat. Is it significantly different than the original?
In term, and so the one thing they said they did is the only thing that I can recall them saying they kept around, like watching this, like there was a Blue Point Studios did a behind the scenes video for it, and they said that in terms of this I guess the physical mechanics of the characters, like the cadence in which they'll swing a sword and how some of the enemies move was kept from the original, but generally speaking, this game is recreated faithfully from nothing. Like it's built from the fucking ground up to be a remake. So yes, this is genuinely a remake. Like Blue Point Studios, I feel like is like the only studio that really fucking remakes games, and they do it better than fucking anybody out there. Like Shadow of the Colossus, when they remade that, was a big deal. That game looked like night and day different, and this is the level of detail in Demon Souls is fucking crazy, to say the least.
Well, I guess my thing is like when you have like a remake, then obviously now I believe they're actually considering this is actually a remaster. They announced the Mass Effect trilogy.
Yeah,
That's
those are.
remaster.
I'm pretty sure those are remastered. Yeah, so that's going to be like you're going to be able to have I think they said it was like 4K, 60 FPS, and all that kind of shit. But I think it is just a remaster. If it was a remake, they wouldn't be releasing all three of those in one box. They'd be releasing all three of those separately, and they would stagger those releases too.
Because
who the fuck wants to play the first one again?
That dude, okay, perfect. This is exactly what I was getting at. Is that remake and remaster? Like when you do a remake, you can obviously get rid of all the bullshit. When you do remaster, like you said, you just kind of up it so it's playable and looks better on current TVs and kind of keep in the loop. But having like a remaster of Mass Effect 1 is a bad idea because it's fucking stupid. If you got rid of that stupid buggy bullshit, and just got rid of it, it would make the game so much better. And with that series, if you didn't play the first one, you just jumped into the second one, you're kind of like, what the fuck's going on? I know they retell it. Like you can watch like in Deus Ex, the new one, they gave you like a 15-minute fucking cutscene about what happened in the game beforehand, which is cool and all, but like who the fuck wants to start a series with the second one?
But that's just it. The second one is the fucking best one in Mass Effect. That is literally the best one in that series.
I think what I'm trying to get is I think we need to see more, and I understand the financial difference between the two is night and day, but we definitely need to see more remakes than remasters. Like the remasters is cool and all, and it's like, oh man, it's a hype, but half the fucking time it doesn't even look that much better. Like the remasters of the Mafia series didn't do it very good justice, especially the second one. I don't know if that was a remaster or remake or what the fuck they do with that, but that was a pathetic. The first Mafia game, I believe, was an actual remake.
Yeah, the Mafia Definitive Edition was a remake, and it was done pretty well just because I've watched comparison videos of what they looked like. It definitely looks like a much more polished game, but in a lot of ways it's still outdated.
I know there's a lot of physics things, and that was actually one of the problems that I had with playing Sleeping Dogs was, again, I had the definitive edition of it, is the characters were very bullet spongy. Like you would look the guy up like a fucking goddamn Christmas tree, and he's just like coming at you still like the Juggernaut. I'm like, what the fuck? Like it's a goddamn cop game. I can kick you fucking 4 times you go, but if I shoot you a million times with a freaking machine gun, you're still coming at you. So
the Division was like that too.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, but I think
like to the point where I just put down the controller and never picked up that game again.
Yeah.
But at least in Division, like they had armor. In Sleeping Dogs, the guys were in a fucking guinea tee. Like
I was gonna say, but there's dudes in the Division where you see them walking up and it's like a heavy guy and he's got his armor and you're shooting it and the armor's coming off and then it's like you shoot their helmet and the helmet comes off and I'm like, cool, and then I shoot them in the head and it's like, I shot you in the head, you should be fucking dead, but you're not. Mm-hmm. What the fuck? So I understand where Jason's coming from. I will literally never play another Division game. They're just, I don't know. They're not good. They're not fun.
They kind of lost it with that. And I think, when it comes to even the other Tom Clancy game, Ghost Recon, they had Breakpoint was the new one. I forget what the other one was. But Wildlands, there you go. But going back to like remakes, like I feel like when you do a remake of a game, you have so many opportunities to make it like serious next gen and make every quality of life change that everybody ever bitch moaned and groaned about. Example, Resident Evil 2. I mean, the game was fucking dope. Then you come and you go and you Resident Evil 3, which I still have not played that game, and I won't play that game until it's like $10 or less. Yep. Unfortunately, I'm not going to spend $60 on a 6-hour long game. But Blue Point's the name of the company that did Demon Souls, right?
Yeah, they did Demon Souls. They did the Shadow of the Colossus remake. And I also want to throw out there, just because we've referenced it a couple times, the fucking Ratchet and Clank remake was unbelievably well done in terms of that shit was outrageously good. Like they knocked that shit out of the park too. But yeah, that's why there's like a gold standard for remakes, and then there's just these like we're just
no, it's true, because I feel like if with Blue Point now, they also did some other games which I didn't even know about. Just looking at their list here, they did the God of War collection for PS3. They did Metal Gear Solid HD collection, PlayStation Battle Royale, Titanfall, Uncharted Nathan Drake collection, Gravity Rush, Shadow Colossus, and Demon Souls. The fact that they're kind of setting themselves up with this standard of being able to do these remakes, what would you like to see them attempt at next?
Well, I was going to say, I heard a rumor, and this was long before Demon Souls was ever announced, and it's still very possible that they could be doing it, is that they were working on or could be working on a remake of the original Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Dino Crisis.
But that would be... That would listen. If anybody could do a really good remake of that fucking game, Blue Point Studios could certainly fucking make that shit awesome. But a full up remake of the original Metal Gear Solid could really be fucking cool with these people behind it.
But is it needed?
Not really. No, I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be. I actually, a part of me also kind of wants them to just make something. Like, I don't want them to remake something. I want to see what they can do when they make something. But I also really think, too, side note with them, is that Sony needs to buy Blue Point Studios, because they're still an individual company that's just partnered with Sony, I think. Sony needs to buy them and bring them into the fucking PlayStation Studios family and make them like a first-party studio. They'd be a powerhouse that way. But I don't know. I mean, they would have probably done a way better job than Square Enix with the Final Fantasy VII remake. Had Blue Point Studios done it, they probably would have done a way better job. A lot of technical issues and shit with that. But I don't know, man. You could fucking throw out a million different titles of things that they could really, really remake and do a good job.
They just do a good job with, like we said before, they do a really good job of doing quality of life changes in games. The things that they take consideration of the things that people bitch at. They fix them, they get rid of them, they upgrade them, whatever they have to do. And sometimes they even add a little something. Apparently there's like some secret door in Demon Souls that people are just unlocking now.
Yeah, they threw that in there. People have already unlocked the door. It gives you an armor set for one of the bosses that you fight, which is pretty cool, because I remember walking and I was like, the fuck, that wasn't there the first time, and then not knowing how to open it, and people cracked it in like 3 days.
Yeah, I saw something. You have to play the game twice or something like that. They were saying.
Yeah, you need a bunch of ceramic coins.
Yeah,
you can open it up.
Jason, what about you? What would you like to see them remake, if anything?
The only remake on my mind right now is Animaniacs. Seriously, go watch it. It's fucking awesome. It's awesome. So I don't want to see. I think it's pointless to remake a game that came out on PS3. If I want to see an actual remake, I want something from the PS1 days. Perfect example, Final Fantasy VII. I would like to see more PS1 games remade, not remastered, just remade. Excuse me. I think anything from like a PS3, even late PS2 era, maybe doesn't fall into that like timeline to be remastered yet. Anything sub 2000, go for it. Pretty much anything in the past 20 years. If it came out over 20 years ago, yes, absolutely, go to remake it. Anything somewhat newer, I'd say 15 to 20 years. But there's no need to do a remake, a complete ground up rebuild of something that came out in 2013.
Demon Souls.
I was going to say, well, there is a game that I feel like we've mentioned it before that could really benefit from a remake, and it falls into Jason's parameters. Blue Point could destroy a Legend of Dragoon remake. That would be like that game. When you look at it now, it's so fucking ugly. It is the ugliest looking bastard stepchild game. But if you remade that, it'd look fucking sweet.
Is this the game I'm thinking of with the 3 characters on the front cover?
They all have dragon wings and shit.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Okay. Jason, what are you gonna say?
I would love to see Echo the Dolphin remade.
I
think we talked about this a couple months ago.
So stupid.
We talked about this a couple months ago. I think it was like the first one I did.
God,
imagine what Echo the Dolphin would look like on a PS5.
Yeah, he looked like a
Just
fucking dolphin.
think of that for a minute.
No, it'd be fucking terrifying. It'd be like Subnautica. It'd be the most horrifying game experience on the planet, but also really cool. Fuck you, Cameron. Fuck you and your stupid dinosaurs.
Come on, you know for a fact you'd buy fucking Dino Crisis remaking a goddamn.
I would absolutely do it.
Fuck you.
And they could actually incorporate a separate level where Echo is going through Jolly Roger Street Cove.
Wow.
Cameron, that game.
Cameron's like, fuck this shit.
We're gonna finance that game in spite of you.
What?
So we're gonna finance this game in spite of you.
Yeah, you're gonna go do a freaking what's it called?
I'm gonna kickstart the shit out of it.
Why Am I a Nerd podcast network has been brought to you by our sponsor, Me Moms. The best breakfast and lunch down the Jersey Shore with 3 great locations in Wall Township, Middletown, and Brick, New Jersey. Me Moms specializes in unique and fun takes on your traditional lunch and breakfast items. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can find more information at www.memoms.com.
All right, well,
kickstart a modern remake of Jolly Roger Bay just for Cameron.
I'm out. I'm done. Before I wrap this show up real fast, just some little bit of news. Obviously, IO Interactive is making a James Bond game, and I think it could be really fucking cool. I think it needs to be third person. You know, I think
it's gonna be. I don't want
to see a first person shit from them. They say it's an origin story. A lot of people are like, "Isn't that just Casino Royale?" I guess I'm not a big Bond lore guy.
Who cares? Who the fuck cares, dude? Let them do whatever they want to do. Listen, I haven't played a Hitman game in a long time, but I know those Hitman games are fucking good, and I've watched people play them. Really that good. Game, that engine, that style of game is ripe for the picking for a fucking James Bond game. It's been like 10 plus years since a good James Bond game came out. So fucking make one. I hope they don't fuck it up, but I'm very excited to see where this goes. Really excited.
Hopefully it turns out to be like a Batman Arkham Asylum situation where it just like sets off three fantastic games, with the exception of Arkham Knight, because fucking Batmobiles are a little much.
But come on, if you're playing a James Bond game, you have to drive around in an Aston Martin at least once.
Oh yeah. You know, so the only thing I hope it needs to be, I guess the thing that to me interesting is, are they going to just make it like a fucking beeline fucking story linear game, like an Uncharted game, or are they going to be like kind of like Arkham City was? I don't think you can. I think you have to.
No, it's got to be more on the rails. Like, guide me to these areas. Give me a little bit of open space to fuck around in. If it's like, okay, listen, I'm tailing this person and I need to do some research, like you do in the Hitman games where you got to kind of assess your situation here. Do something like that, but don't put me in a big open world. I don't want a James Bond open world game. That would probably get boring pretty quickly. Like, give me the locales. Let me explore the locales, and we're probably gonna be okay. Give me some cool racing things. Ugh. Maybe like hang off a helicopter. When I say like a racing thing, because like there was a Bond game that came out on 360 and PlayStation 3, and they were like, I don't want to say a racing, but they were like chase sequences where you're driving the fucking Aston Martin around, but you're firing off like the Gatling guns out of it. You're shooting fucking missiles and shit. Like, give me one of those cool, like rapid fucking fast paced like chase scenes, and that's cool. But let me just run around and like pew pew people with my PPK and
Silence all
strangle
day.
people. Yeah, let me just fucking shoot people.
Yeah, like I said, they need to stay away from the open world thing. They need to stay away from throwing. They need to stay away from throwing like a million Easter egg cameo villains in it, like Josh showing up or Objob. Like fucking come up with a new villain. Come up with a good story. Make it linear as fuck if you have to. Do it like the Hitman thing, where it's like, hey, we're going to this world now. You can go to this world and do it. Get out of the world, and if you want to replay the level. But
yeah.
Anybody else want to cue on this before I wrap it up?
Exciting.
Cool. Well, then once again, this is Why Am I Nerd % Outfitted Gold, where you can follow us on Instagram at Why Am I Nerd Official, Facebook.com/Why Am I Nerd, and listen to new issues. Wrong script. Episodes, I should say, every Monday on YouTube and your favorite podcast service.
Crap.
I copied the fucking. I copied the thing from fucking Yo What Up Comics. I literally just left the one word of issue in here. God damn it. Well,
I take issue with your comment, so we're done.
Cameron, next time you got to do more better.
You know what?
Yes.
Fuck you, Jason Porter. Fuck you, Just Matt. I'm Karen James. Until next time, bye.